What's up, people? We are back with more Fault Milestone 1. In the previous video, well, it wasn't really that clear. Like, at this point I feel like we're getting so many more questions and answers, if we're even getting any answers, because it really feels like we aren't. In the previous video it was mainly Rune, who wasn't really Rune, or at least not the Rune that we are used to. Like, sure, we've only met her for like once before, but I was in a single day. We spent that entire day with her pretty much. So I feel like in that amount of time, sure, you don't get to know a person very well, but at least decent enough to know when you think that they would be acting weird for what would probably be their normal way of acting. So yeah, yesterday she acted kinda robotic, or just now actually, when she walked away in the previous video, and she was like, I am property of Rughzenhaide company. I have to work in a mana mine and mine mana for Rughzenhaide, and yeah, it just really seemed like so robotic and scripted and whatnot. So this obviously only raises more questions than it answers, so I think we're just gonna have to keep on digging. How could Rune have changed so much over the course of a day? This is the worst scenario that neither of us could have ever even imagined. I glanced at Selphine and saw flames raging from her sky blue eyes. Blue flames? Everybody knows blue flames are even more dangerous. Is that even true? I don't know. Milady, Ratona, I can't remember the last time I felt this angry. I'm angry enough to grab her by the arms and shake some sense into her. I don't care if she ends up despising me for it. This was Rune's decision, my lady. As much as it pains me to admit, I understand you're displeased with our conversation, but if you sincerely chase after her in an attempt to shake some sense into her, Sarah may really despise you, my lady. I can live with that, but something's been bothering me. Something being? It's probably the exact same thing that's still bothering you as well. Who is she really? Is she Rune, or is she Sarah? Is she really the girl who guided us around in exchange for the perspective of a pair of outsiders? Or was it all an act? I just want to know the truth, Ratona. And it's not just Rune I want to know about. I want to know about Cadia, the outer pole, the inner pole, and so much more now. I want to know if slavery is a cultural practice here. I want to know if discriminatory practices are being done here. But more than anything, I want to know what happened to our friend. Selphine, do you think you could condone any sort of discriminatory practice, my lady? Discriminatory. Famine, pestilence, war. These are all things that have been eradicated from Rughzenhaide for the most part. Regardless of Cadia and the outer pole being far beyond the borders of the Mana Crafters Alliance, I don't believe either of us could tolerate the practice of slavery. It's not a matter of pragmatics, Ratona. Now that we're in a completely different land and culture, I would rather know as much as I can, even if I can't change anything. Selphine's eyes appeared tinged with an uncharacteristic vigor as she gazed towards the direction that Rune had departed. The attack of the dots. Hours have passed well into the evening since our encounter with Rune. While Selphine slumbered away at our inn, exhausted from the afternoon's events, I silently sneaked away to the central district. Uncontrollable curiosity clawed at my mind, unsettling me for the latter half of the afternoon. That curiosity was slightly put to ease once I attained the information I sought from the quartermaster. Nearby Zevit's Enterprise's mana mine was a cemetery. Unfortunately for me, I was informed that the cemetery was proximate to the woods where the riptide carried both Selphine and me. With my bearings in mind, I set out to return to the oxygen deficient forest, and after several minutes I came upon the cemetery. It appeared well maintained and unusually bereft of dread, but it was sealed by wrought iron bars and a locked gate. But a cemetery is still a cemetery, even at night, and this distinct lack of dread and dreariness is unsettling. The lack of dread is unsettling. That's not something you say very often, at least not about a cemetery. Although I kinda get it though, because you expect it to be dread and dreary and just this strange aura of death all around you, but when it's not there, then it's actually weird, right? A thick mist suddenly fell upon the wooded area, shrouding the cemetery and my surroundings in a smoky veil. Where to begin? I bypassed the sealed gate and retrieved the parchment that the innkeeper had given me before my departure. Apparently, it reads Rune Zevitz in the language here. I have to find her headstone to silence my concerns once and for all. I'm still quite illiterate in the language, so I'll have to match every name on this headstone to the name written on the parchment. This way, at least I'll know who our friend is, and whether the Rune we know is really Rune Zevitz or Sarah. 20 minutes have elapsed since I began the search. This cemetery is large. The mist has caused me to lose my bearings. I can't even tell where the main gate is anymore. No. Rain! Damn it! If I had to guess, I must have only explored about a third of this cemetery so far. This cemetery is ludicrously large. How many generations of Cadia's people are resting beneath the soil on which I stand? The mist has turned into a drizzle, and it feels as if it's only going to intensify into a downpour soon. I need to find her headstone soon. Not even 5 minutes has passed, and already the drizzle has turned into a downpour. By the time both my coat and cloak had become drenched, slowly sapping away my body's warmth. There isn't much I can do in this rain, even less if the innkeeper's parchment become illegible. The rain drowned my spirits and forced me to consider looking for any form of shelter available in the cemetery, until I saw her. What? Sarah! Her unexpected arrival left me frozen with intangible fear. Did you see her eyes? It was red for a second. Miss Ratona, are you searching for Mistress Rune's headstone? I couldn't utter a single response. Her presence and her keen insight shocked me like electricity. Until this moment, I believed that nothing could ever take me by surprise again. I wouldn't be caught off my guard, and if I ever was, I would turn to mana crafty as my last resort. But even that was rendered useless by the sight of her alone. I needed to gather and compose myself. I remember that she did something similar when we first met. She snuck up on us with her lifeless presence, and I failed to detect her. Oh god, are you telling me that she is really not human at all? But her eyes never radiated red. Just what? Just what are you, really? Sarah's face remained static and devoid of any emotion as the restless or relentless droplets of rain continued to shower upon us. I struggled to keep my eyes open and focused on Sarah against the instinctive reflex to blink against the intrusion of rainwater, but she didn't even bat an eye. You will not find Mistress Rune's headstone here. Why? How do you know? Is it because you're her? Are you Rune Zevitz? Who can say? What kind of response is that? Are you her or are you not her? You have entered the premises of property that is solely exclusive to Zevitz Enterprise. Why would an entire enterprise own a cemetery? That makes no sense, right? As far as I know, and I actually don't know far at all in this regard, but aren't cemeteries supposed to be not necessarily public domain, but at least government owned, right? You are not authorized to be on this property. I apologize, but I must insist that you leave immediately. Her last words were almost inaudible against the pitter-patter of the rain, but I understood her implication. Please, do not trouble Master Rudo or the Zevit's enterprise. Both you and Miss Selphine must leave Cadia and never return. Goodbye. I just imagine her to just be like fully emotionless like a robot. So I'm just gonna go like goodbye. And with those parting words, Rune melted into the landscape and disappeared into the forest. It could have been the chill from the rain, but if I'm not mistaken, I sensed the moment of sadness and solitude in her expression changed. See, this is what I don't understand. So maybe I'm spending too much trying to figure this out already, and obviously it will unfold itself within the story. But I like thinking about these things. So it was said twice already that that she basically snuck up on her because she was unable to detect her life force at all, her presence. Meaning that sort of leans towards / indicates that she's not human, right? But there are these, every now and then she sees these glimpses of emotions. Does that then mean that maybe she is human, but sometimes, I don't know if she's half human or something takes over her for a while, or maybe her human side or her soul is trapped inside the robot body. I don't even know, but it could be any of those. But yeah, I like to think about those things. Who was it that I encountered in the cemetery last night? Maybe they said that they had like the Sisters Project, it was called, right? Maybe they all look the same as supposedly Rune or Sarah or whatever her name is. Maybe they all just look like that. But then how would they differentiate between them? Because obviously if they all look alike, then they wouldn't be able to tell which one was the Rune that escaped and tried to steal from them by giving the settlement stone to Ratona and Selphine. Unless they're like numbered by computer with a chip inside of them or something along those lines to differentiate, but that could be possible as well. Rune's grave doesn't exist? Why? Is it because Sarah is Rune? No, that can't be. The townsfolk clearly said that Rune had died. Damn it, this is all getting so confusing. So you snuck out without me, while I was asleep no less, and you even ran into Sarah too. I could feel Selphine's biting displeasure sink its teeth into my skin. I would have liked to say a word or two to her as well, but somebody didn't take that into consideration. Forgive me, my lady, but the hour was late, and I did not want to risk anything that would accelerate the development of your mana shock. Somebody wasn't thinking about what her dear friend wanted. Oh no. I offer milady 1,000 pardons. You have my word that this will not happen again. Never is a pretty strong word, Ratona. Selphine appeared determined to maintain in her relentless glaring. Ugh. Not even I thought that she would regard my actions with such scorn. I suppose I'll have to take your word for it now, Ratona. Don't think that you're off the hook just yet. Understood. Listen, Ratona. I know I'm useless for the most part. Milady. Oh, come on. You know it's true, so let's not deny it. I'm not saying this to make you feel worse, but it's a fact that I've come to accept. I have 0 talents in mana crafty, battle crafty, everything really. I know I'll never be as varied and versatile as you. My fear is that I will become so burdensome that it'd be weighing you down with every step you take. But as much as the fates seem to prefer that I stand idly by, I feel that my proper place is to be by your side, Ratona. Please elaborate, milady. What do you mean? As my royal guardian, you've always prioritized my safety above all others, and I realize that will never change. If you were still in Rughzenhaide, I could easily appoint you my successor and free you of your responsibilities of being my royal guardian, and that would put my worries to rest. But we are alone and far away from our home. Your duty as my royal guardian is to ensure my safe return to the Kingdom of Rughzenhaide, correct? Correct. If something happened to you, do you really think I can make it back on my own? Oh. Ratona, I want to share the burden. We must help keep each other alive. Get out of the way, Windows 10. I don't want to upgrade right now. We must help each other. We must help keep each other alive. Sorry, Windows 10 just kind of budged in there. Like it showed up. Gave a pop-up. Do you want to install Windows 10 now, so that we can monitor every single one of your activities and every website that you go to, and then send it back to Barack Obama? I'll be like, sure. Do you understand, Ratona? Here, we are on equal standing. Ratona Ryan Vasta, you are my dearest friend. I cannot bear the thoughts of losing you, so please. That really caught me off guard. In this dire situation where one's title carries no weight, as far as the situation is concerned, Selphine and I are equals. How could I not notice something so simple? You have my word, my lady. From this moment forward, you and I are on equal standing. Right. It seems like I've been treating her as I did when we were both young. A large burden seems to have been lifted off my shoulders. So if you don't mind, I actually had a suggestion I've been wanting to make. By all means. Ratona, I would like to try casting Mana Crafty. What? Zevit's Enterprise Boardroom. Rudo Zevitz awoke after a rare and impromptu nap, induced from reading the mountain of mundane paperwork strewn across the table. His expression appeared ghastly, as if he had awoken from a terrible dream. Rudo briefly chafed his forehead to dispel the grogginess, irritated and perturbed. I don't even know. That's such a weird word. I never heard of it. Perturbed by his unpleasant daydream. I probably pronounced that way too wrong, but that's the best I could come up with. Why? He wondered in silence. Must I be haunted by those memories once more? Sarah. Tch! It's all because of Sarah! Her actions have caused me to subconsciously recall the horrors I witnessed during my childhood. Why must I relive the blood and all those screams once more? I recall the deep resentment I harbored towards my father. I remember the compassion I felt for my mother. And when they passed, they took any chance of my reconciliation with them and left me with a parting gift of regret. 12 years. 12 years ago, everything felt like a bad dream I wanted so badly to awaken from. When I was a boy, I never knew any child my age to be more cruel, more twisted than my sister. Rune Zevitz was infamous for harboring an unbridled disregard for authority of any kind. She was unrestrained, uncontrollable, and downright demented. Everyone knew that there was no disciplining her, because Rune thrived on making everyone miserable. In fact, she derived pleasure from the antagonism directed towards her, and every time someone gave her a dirty look, Rune would smile her psychotic little head off. But what she loved to do the most, in order to make the biggest impact possible, was inflict physical harm onto others. Why was she the source of everyone's misery? Why did she enjoy being the outcast? Whatever the reason, the result would always leave her with a profound sense of accomplishment. To me, Rune Zephitz was nothing short of a monster. Dang, and that's his brother saying it. Or her brother. I remember there was one day I saw Rune in the grand hall of our residence and noticed that her right eye was swollen shut. Pink eye. Concerned about Rune's swollen eye, our frail yet devoted mother felt compelled to take her to a clinic near the outskirts of Cadia to have it treated, aggravating the existing strain on her fragile body. Rune, mother's waiting for you. Let's go already. No. I just imagine her to be the epitome of evil. I'll give you my share of pudding tonight, so could you please be good and listen to me? Just for today. I don't like pudding. Go away. Doesn't your eye hurt, Rune? If you don't get it treated now, you might go blind in one eye. Do you want to see out of only one eye? I don't care. I think I actually want to go blind in one eye. What's the matter with you, Rune? Blindness is... Rune! Rudo! Are you both ready now? Rune! Mom's actually feeling healthy enough to get out of bed today. Please, just be good for her. You know what, Rudo? I don't give a damn. And you know what else? I hope Mommy dies! No! I hope Daddy dies too! I hope that stupid clinic burns to the ground! But most of all, I hope you die, Rudo. I hope everyone in the world just keels over! You don't mean that. Don't say anything that you don't really mean. It's depressing. In reality, I didn't find half of what she said too depressing. I hope you die, Rudo. I couldn't keep track of how many times she said that to me. Rune never really cared much about anything unless it served some purpose to satiate her twisted persona. For example, Rune had a fairly limited vocabulary, but she knew more words associated with morbid topics. Rune, I don't care if you say those nasty things to me, but please, don't ever utter those words in front of our mother. I'm begging you. I'm begging you. In hindsight, I should have known that my pleas would have the opposite effect on my wicked sister. Exactly. She seems like the kind of person that, what's it called? God damn it, the word doesn't come to mind, but it's like a technique or something where you know that person is going to do the exact opposite of what you say. So you say the thing that she doesn't want to do, or that she does want to do. Oh no, wait, that she doesn't want to do, right? Like for example, she has to go shower, like, you don't go shower, it's busy right now. And she's like, no, I want to go shower, I have to go shower. Because you say that she shouldn't do it, that's why she wants to do it. What is it called? I know the words, I've actually mentioned or heard it a couple of times, but it just doesn't come to mind right now. So if anyone knows, you get a cookie. I'll personally deliver it to your house. Well, not really, but if I ever meet any of you, I'll give it to you. I'll promise that much. Reverse psychology, it was right in front of me. Holy crap, no cookies for you guys, I'm sorry. If only I had known that she was a simpleton, I could have worked wonders on Rune with reverse psychology. Oh god, I'm so stupid. If I had encouraged her in a roundabout way to do something that appeased her evil ego, she would have listened to me. Whether she would have taken my encouragement seriously is now a redundant matter, but I suspect that she would have taken abnormal delight in the idea. I could never properly communicate with Rune, not with words at least. Her brand of communication was always performed through physical contact. Rune, haven't you changed yet? Hurry and get changed. I'm sorry, Mother. I tried to tell her, but Rune's being very stubborn. Don't be sorry, Rudo. You only did what you thought was right. Come on, sweetie. Let's go see the doctor and see what he can do about your swollen eye. No! Rune, your eye won't get any better if we don't go now. It shouldn't take too long either. Doctors are a lot better now than they used to be, at least when I was a girl. No! Our mother's words was always final, and whenever Rune realized that she couldn't bring our mother down to her level, "I don't want to go!" Rune would take all civility out of the conversation, recede to the mentality of a toddler, and whine away. It was a painful sight to see, every single time. Baby rage. Her ear-splitting shrieks would reverberate without end, until her vocal cords were worn to the point of exhaustion. God, please, Rune, be a good girl and listen to Mommy. If you're a good girl, Mommy will take you to the ice cream parlor in its central district after your appointment at the clinic. I don't wanna go! No matter how hard my mother tried to reason with her, Rune just wouldn't listen. Ultimately, we had to drag her onto the carriage, kicking and screaming all the way to the clinic. 30 minutes passed, and Rune finally stopped subjecting her vocal cords to her endless shrieks. But her tantrum was far from over. During the entirety of her examination, Rune continually lunged and snapped at the attending physician. The unfortunate physician endured Rune's behavior in silence far better than most people would, but I could tell by the look in his eyes that he had enough of her nonsense. If he weren't a Zevit's employee, I'm certain that he would have thrown us out as soon as he concluded Rune's examination. He dressed her swollen eye with a white eye patch and said nothing else. Great employee. He's employee of the year. We stopped by the central district, just as my mother said that we would, and Rune sprinted off into the distance. Goodness, whatever am I going to do with Rune? Her mom seems so nice. Mother, I'll go try and calm her down. If I can get her to calm down, she might tell us what's bothering her. I'm sure she will. I suppose I still have a thing or two that I can learn from my own children. I'm surprised you can keep up with her, Rudo. I don't know what I'd do with Rune if you weren't there watching out for her, Rudo. I can't keep up with that bundle of energy. Not anymore. I'm sure she has a good reason. I wanted so badly to believe that there was a method to her madness. Maybe when Rune grows up a little, she'll start to calm down even more. To this day, I still cannot fathom how I would have the misfortune of being the model sibling to that wild child. This is just a phase. We just have to tough it out. Once Rune grows older, she has to come to her senses. She has to. But until then, I'll keep an eye on her. Don't worry about her, Mother. Mommy! Rune returned to the carriage with a thick branch in hand. Rune, put that stick down now. You could hurt yourself. Or someone else. Can I? Can I really hurt someone else? Whee! Rune thrust the stick into the pavement and ran in circles around the carriage before taking off once more, kicking up dirt and dust in the process. Goodness gracious. We can't let her run free with that. It's dangerous. I'll go, Mother. You stay here and rest, and I'll go after her. No, I'm coming with you. For once in my life, I need to do the hard deed of scolding my child. If only that could have prevented what came next. Huh? It took me some time before I realized what that sound really was. It was an adolescent boy who let out a wholeheartedly justified, blood-curdling scream. What? Where did that come from? I found the boy being pinned to the ground with the hand of his assailant clenched tight around his collar. What the hell is Rune doing? Holy crap! The assailant was my psychotic little sister, who appeared to be overcome with euphoria as she stabbed the sharp end of the stick into her victim's face several times. What? The ground was stained by the boy's blood. The impact of the unbelievable scene forced my mind into shock. With each and every downward thrust Rune took with the stick, the area around them became more saturated with blood. "Who looks funny now, huh?" Holy crap, she is scary and evil. The child wasn't even flinching as the branch carved into his skull. He was clearly unconscious. "Rune! That's not the answer I wanted to hear!" Rune's voice, rendered into a raspy, ear-splitting trills after screaming her head off, didn't resemble that of a young girl's. "Die! Die! Die!" It sounded like that of a monster's. The only thing I could recall after hearing her twisted tune was my body lurching forward. When I came to, my clothes were drenched and dyed with various shades of crimson blood. Just by the evidence at the time, I could conclude that I separated Rune from her victim, but how I managed to do that remains even unclear to this day. The boy was immediately taken to one of our branch hospitals for emergency care. The boy's name, Marcus Graukles, age 8. Wow, isn't that one of the guys that's on the board of the Zevit's Enterprise? What? The team of surgeons worked for hours stabilizing Marcus, removing hundreds of splinters from his face and disinfecting his left eye socket. They were able to save his life, but they couldn't save his left eye. What's worse, one of Rune's thrust into his left eye socket impacted the sphenoid bone near his left temple. This would end up being the cause of permanent damage to his body's purified mana production and regulation. Rune's rampage left Marcus to suffer recurring cluster headaches for the remainder of his life. And he'll learn that if he ever wakes up again. Rune blamed Marcus for what happened, asserting that he started it with an offhanded comment. "You look funny." Rune was 6 years old when she first made her attempt at committing murder. The surgeons who performed on Marcus were mystified by a number of details of the incident, more so than outraged. Even though Marcus was much bigger than Rune, she easily overtook him. Marcus's eye proved resilient by withstanding numerous sharp stabs from Rune's stick. They came to a collective conclusion that the nature of the incident was highly peculiar. Apparently, the thought of a younger child, a girl no less, overpowering an older boy and inflicting severe injuries onto him with only a stick in hand was seen as highly unusual. In order to perform such a feat, there had to be an element of surprise. "What a terrible and unfortunate accident," the doctors all said. No, there was no way this was some sort of freak accident. This wasn't just some incident where a small girl lashed out in anger. Rune must have had clear intentions of destruction. This little incident was just an excuse to exercise that malicious intent. Afterwards, my mother, who had barely been able to contain her emotions, did the difficult deed, and gave Rune the scolding of her life. This was the first scolding Rune had ever received from our mother. She cried her eyes out while apologizing to everyone in the room. The peacekeepers of Cadia issued my parents an edict of Rune's punishment for attempted murder. Indefinite residential confinement, essentially house arrest. For a short period of time, Rune didn't speak a single word, not to herself, not to anyone. For my parents, however, the matter of liability for their daughter's crime fell onto them. We were open to do everything in our power to make things right for the son of the Graukles family, starting with complimentary coverage for Marcus at our largest hospital, where he received the best and most advanced treatments that were available. The monetary value of every treatment he underwent was of little concern. We waived everything. We even extended Marcus's care to cover his education, which also went towards supporting his whole family who were experiencing financial straits. We looked past the astronomical loss of Gallows to a single family just to right the wrongs of a deranged little Rune. In fact, when we extended our generous offer to the Cloudcleave's family, the mother wanted nothing from us, not even monetary aid from my parents. But it wasn't long until a declination, that she declined it. The fact that she declined our offer caused internal strife within his family. His wife, discontent with her husband's greed for desiring our offer, divorced him and departed Cadia, citing irreconcilable idiocy. A day passed since the incident, which soon turned into a week, a month, a year, and yet time ceased to salvage the broken Cloudcleave's family. On the other hand, my family's long conglomerate chain continued to grow and flourish, one link at a time. The damage that Rune had done to our family and the company left a stigma, but the wounds of our wayward actions dissipated with time. Contrary to my personal belief at the time, Rune had managed to reach the conclusion that hurting people was bad. Wow. Something inside her head clicked, compelling her to broaden her vocabulary from her personal compendium of pain and death. It's almost as if she underwent some sort of metamorphosis from the time she spent under house arrest, entering her chrysalis of silence and emerging as a normal human. No longer was Rune an anthropic menace that I had always known her to be, but it was a normal child with non-violent tendencies towards other people. Obviously, given my history with her to date, I had doubts about what I saw and heard with my own eyes. In fact, I had nothing but doubts concerning the fantastic idea of Rune's evolution from a little monster into the little sister that I never had. But as time passed, I came to accept that Rune truly had changed. 5 years have passed since Rune blinded poor Marcus Cloudcleaves, and not a day goes by that I don't think about what would have happened if I hadn't stopped her then. Mother, where is father? He should be home soon. You should tidy yourself up before he returns. What's with the musical notes behind this? Is this a Disney movie? It's not every day that we can all go out to eat dinner as a family. There was a distinctly melodic quality about my mother's usual gentle voice. Mother, it's only Avel's Tavern. I don't think people there will care if there are a few creases on my dress shirt or not. Now, who said it was okay for you to dress sloppy when you're out and about on the town? Especially in the eye of the public. I certainly didn't, so go tidy up. Rune, are you all dressed yet? Yes, Mother. My goodness, brother, your dress shirt has so many creases on it. You should wear something with wrinkle-free fabric. Yes, Mother and I were just speaking about that. For shame, brother. Would you like me to help you? Who the hell is this person? Help me with what exactly? Why, help you with picking out a wrinkle-free dress shirt. That won't be necessary. Haha, that's so adorable. Rudo, why don't you let Rune help pick something out for you? Come on, brother, let's go to your room. I have a better idea. You stay here, and I'll go pick out my own wrinkle-free shirt. Father will be home soon, and having you go through my closet will only delay our departure. Tee. Ha 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 ha. Well, if it ain't my two favorite runs. Daddy's home, kids. Welcome home, Father. Hello, Father. Welcome home. Why, hello to you too, Rudo and Rune. Why are you dressed so nice, Rune? Why, Father, that's because we're going out tonight. It's a special occasion. Mother did say that we were having dinner as a family. Special schmeshel. We're just going out to eat. And to a tavern, no less. I tried arguing that point as well, but... Sid, where's your necktie? Honey, well, I took it off before just because I just got home, of course. It's no big deal. You are the CEO of Zephyr's Enterprise, darling. If you go out looking like a slob, people will treat you like a slob. That goes for business meetings too. Now hurry and put your necktie back on, and let's get going to Avel's Tavern. We are going to have a nice family dinner, and we will not be coming back until later tonight. Mother lectured our father for his perceived slobbishness as she stormed up the stairs to the second floor. I know it's been a while since I've been home, kids, but I forget how feisty your mother could be. Maybe it's because it's been a while since you last came home. Yeah, that could be the reason. Alright, well, I think I'm gonna end the video here because it's getting pretty late. Kind of unfortunate that I have to do it in the middle of this supposedly happy family dinner outing, but yeah, we'll continue in the next video. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe for more, and I'll see you then. Peace!